Hello there and welcome. In this video I'll talk about why you should always be reading books in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, and the reason is simple really. Books can actually give you permanent passive bonuses to quite a lot of different things. Some of them being very useful, such as plus 10 hit points, and that's half the toughness feat basically, all for free. An extra die of sneak attack damage that will stack with everything, including actually giving your character the sneak attack ability if he doesn't already have it, and even difficulty class increases to certain spells. All of the abilities you can see here that have a book icon are basically gained from reading books, so yeah, there is actually quite a lot of them in the game. Now, gaining these permanent bonuses is actually very easy. You don't have to read the entire book lore if you don't want to. All you have to do is basically, whenever finding a new book, simply right click on it and then press info. Now, as I said, you don't have to read it. If it is a special book, then you will get this message here. You learned something new from this book. After that, you will automatically gain the passive ability. You don't even need to loot the book really, just right clicking it and pressing info is enough. Now, it is important that you do this with every book you find, because as you can see here, the special books don't really have anything that actually tell you they are special until you actually read them. For example, there is no gold frame surrounding the item, as we get with some special items. These books will look the same as any other common items, so be sure to always press info whenever finding a new one. Now, these special books are also pretty much spread through the whole game, but I can tell you some areas where you are bound to find some of them. The first one is of course Blackwing Library during Chapter 1. The second would be the secret area in the Lost Chapel map, basically Zachariah's library, where you will meet the Lich for the first time. Another area of note is the Dresden Cathedral after you free it, so basically starting from Chapter 3. You can also find more books in the Ineluctable Prison area, basically Baphomet's prison during Chapter 5. I believe this should be some of the main areas really. There's quite a lot of these spread through the whole game, so be sure to keep an eye out for them. Now let us go over what the book passives can actually give you. First we have Tome of the Minotaur for a +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls with glaive weapons. You can find this very early during the game, and so it is very useful, especially because a lot of early game enemies actually carry glaives, either masterwork or enchanted glaives. As you can see here, it states that it affects the creature as if it had the weapon training ability with glaive. I know this is going to be a common question, so in reality this will not actually give your character the weapon training ability. So unless you already are a fighter, equipment such as the Gloves of Dueling that improve weapon training will not have any effect. Besides that, we also have Temples of Iomedae for a +1 shoot bonus to armor class against demons, certainly very useful if your character has shields. Crusade Chronicles, one of my favorites because it gives you a +10 to hit points, and well, who doesn't want more hit points? The Keen Edge of Truth for +1 competence bonus against swarms, kinda niche really. Gino Pollen for +1 competence bonus to attack and damage with natural attacks, very useful if you're going for a natural attack build. Zacharias Towards Eternity for a +1 competence bonus to DC on spells with Death Descriptor. This is especially useful for Lich characters of course, because you will have access to many spells with the Death Descriptor of the Necromancy school. History of the World Wound for +1 insight on lore, religion and also nature. Always useful. Know Thy Enemy for +1 insight to perception and stealth. Xantir Vang for +1 caster level on enchantment spells. Baphomet the Imprisoned for +1 competence on CMD and CMB, so especially useful if your character actually likes to use combat maneuvers such as Trip. Diary of a Student of Xantir, also very situational, +1 competence fortitude against distorted demons. Xantir Vang's Notes for +1 competence against fear and frightened effects. Grimoire of the Beast for +1 competence on saving throws against confusion spells. Now this is very useful because of how annoying confusion is as a whole. Baphomet the Uncaged, as I said before, this is going to actually give your character access to the sneak attack ability with 1d6. If you already have it, then it's going to stack with whatever sneak dice you have, so very powerful. Lastly, we have the Acts of Iomedae for +1 competence on saving throws against disease and sickened, somewhat situational as well. Now the best ones I believe are certainly Crusade Chronicles for +10 to hit points, the Tome of the Minotaur for +1 to glaives, Zacharias Towards Eternity if you have a Necromancer character, and also the skill boost we can get. Well, so this was it everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this video. on why books are so important in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Please be sure to comment down below if you think I missed a particular book, and please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to help it grow. Thank you for watching and see you next time.